Have you ever thought about how the stories we're told can sometimes feel more like cages than comfort? Well, today, we're going to unravel a really haunting tale about fear, manipulation, and one person's fight for the truth in The Pact of Whispering Silhouettes.
And right away, we're pulled into this world with this chilling entry from our protagonist's journal, a house with a memory, a mystery just begging to be solved. This one line, you guys, it sets the whole stage for a journey into a past that just refuses to stay quiet.
So let's meet Elara. The irony here is just, wow. She's a voice artist. Her whole job is about giving life to words, but she's stuck in this old house where the silence isn't peaceful at all. It's heavy, it's oppressive, and it's smothering her with this constant, vague fear.
And the source of all this anxiety? It actually has a name, Verity. She's Elara's guardian. But in her own mind, Elara calls her something else, a name that just perfectly captures her unsettling vibe, the newsprint woman.
And you can totally see why. I mean, Verity isn't just a character. She's like a walking, talking personification of old, scary news. Imagine skin like brittle, yellowed paper, clothes that rustle like a forgotten newspaper, and eyes that are just clouded over with cynicism. She is, quite literally, made of bad news.
So how does Verity keep Elara so afraid? This is her main weapon. She's constantly whispering these warnings, painting the world as this terrifying place where evil shadows are actively hunting Elara. You know, it's a classic manipulation tactic, right? Invent a monster and then position yourself as the only one who can protect someone from it.
And that brings us to Section 1, the Pact of Shadows. This is Verity's so-called solution, a deal that's been forged in the very fear that she created.
Okay, so let's break down this deal that Verity is offering. On one side, you've got these amazing promises: protection, power, control. Sounds good, right? But the hidden costs, they're devastating. Elara isn't gaining control. She's giving it away. She becomes dependent, even more vulnerable, and has to surrender a sliver of her essence. That is a terrifying price to pay for safety that might not even be real.
But just when things seem completely hopeless, a new voice cuts through all that fear. Elara's friend, Cassidy, sees what's really going on and offers another path. It's not a pact with darkness, but a journey into what she calls the dreamscape, a place where the truth can't be so easily twisted.
All right, Section 2, Whispers in the Dreamscape. We're about to leave reality behind and enter a realm that might just hold the key to this whole mystery.
Now, getting into this dreamscape isn't like just falling asleep. No, it's a deliberate, almost meditative act. It's all about intention. You have to find a quiet place, really focus your will, and visualize a safe space. It really goes to show that finding the truth isn't passive. It takes a conscious choice to actually go looking for it. And once she's inside, this is a huge shift. For the first time, Elara isn't alone with just Verity's terrifying stories. The dreamscape is filled with other beings, guides, allies, and each one seems to have a missing piece of her life's puzzle.
And here's the crew she meets. We've got Renard, a guide who actually understands the shadows. There's Luna, this ancient guardian of balance, and Seraphina, who appears as a dove, a messenger of hope. Each of them gives Elara a totally new perspective that flies in the face of Verity's world of fear.
Which brings us to Section 3, the truth is unmasked. Now that she has help, Elara starts pulling on the threads of Verity's stories. And believe me, the whole web of deceit starts to fall apart.
And this is the question that just shatters everything. What if this pact, the one thing that was supposed to keep her safe, was actually her cage the entire time? This is the moment everything pivots. Elara stops being a passive victim and becomes an investigator of her own life.
And it's Luna, the wise guardian from the dreamscape, who finally lays it all out, the devastating truth. The pact? It's not a shield, it's a cage. And Verity? She's not a protector, she's a warden, a manipulator so corrupted by her own fear that she uses the pact to control others. The biggest threat to Elara was never the shadows. It was the person who was supposed to be protecting her.
And honestly, the story gets even more tragic here. Turns out, the pact wasn't born from evil. It was actually created to try and restore a lost balance. But its very first wielder, a young and innocent Verity, was completely overwhelmed by fear and loneliness.
So instead of healing the world, she became its sickness, perpetuating this cycle of control to soothe her own pain. She wasn't just the villain, she was also the first victim.
And with that one revelation, suddenly all those strange, recurring symbols just click into place. That broken butterfly wing wasn't just random decay, it was a symbol of the balance shattered by Verity's lies. The shadows were never evil, they were just a neutral force that Verity turned into a weapon. And Ember, the little hummingbird, that was Elara's own hope, slowly dying under Verity's thumb.
And that brings us to our final section, Section 4, A Future Forged in Fire. Elara is now armed with the truth, and she has to fight for her future. But as we're about to see, freedom always comes with a cost.
Confronting Verity isn't just about breaking some magical pact. It's about catharsis. It's that powerful, explosive moment of release, letting go of all the fear and anxiety she has been forced to repress for years. It's not just freedom, it's emotional liberation.
And you can just hear the total transformation in this quote. She is not the timid, frightened girl from the beginning of our story. Not anymore. She is resolved, she is determined, and she is ready to take back her own story. Guided not by fear, but by the strength she's finally found in herself.
I love this chart because it feels so real. Resolve and courage are now the dominant forces in her life, for sure. But look, fear and doubt, they haven't just vanished. They're lingering. And that's so important, right? Real growth isn't about pretending your scars don't exist. It's about learning to live with them without letting them control you.
And that really leads us to the final big question this story leaves us with. Elara's journey shows that facing our demons empowers us, but the scars they leave behind become a part of who we are. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Is it ever possible to be totally free from our past? Or is the real victory just learning how to carry those scars with courage and resolve? That is a powerful idea to sit with.